Good evening, everybody. Hello, welcome. We are back for another exclusive look at Bassmaster Fishing 2022. The game is literally rolling out around the world as we speak, but we wanted to give everyone one more look at the game before the whole world is able to play it. Today, I'm going to be joined by a special guest. We have someone that some of you will know and some of you will not know. The man, the legend himself, Tom Clarke, otherwise known as Clarkey, our junior brand manager, and here he is, the man himself, the legend.
Hello. Thanks for introducing me, Ben. Hi, hello everybody. Hello, regular faces I've seen in the chat, and hello all the new people.
Wonderful. Well, it's wonderful to have you here, Tom. Thanks for joining me. I know you don't normally work these hours anymore.
No, not anymore. I can just see people asking if I'm in a shed. No, I'm not in a shed.
It's basically a shed. I mean, a green. Is it not greenhouse? Conservatory.
It's
just it's a fancy shed. So today, we're going to do the next level of the campaign, or the career mode, which is on the Sabine River. So we thought we'd have a quick look around, maybe show you some stuff or any questions that you've got, anything you want to see. But before we jump into the competition, we'd maybe cruise around Sabine River for a bit on a fishing trip and just have a look around so you can see the lake a bit. And then we'll give it a go and see how we do. Hopefully not as tight as the last time we tried.
So I think really what it is here is Ben wants to go around the Sabine River because he's so worried that he's going to fish as well as he did last time. He wants to get some practice in before.
I'm going to turn the music down a touch. It's a bit loud in my brain, even though it's a good song and everything, but don't need to hear it. All right, so what have we got? Anything anyone wants to have a look at before we dive in? I know that there have been some requests to see the legendary catches or legendary fish. So full disclosure, they don't look like this. This is how they look in game before you've caught them, so they're a bit dulled out and
they're locked.
They're locked.
These are
right
locked.
now.
Yeah, when you unlock them, you can see them in their full glory. It's kind of part of it.
Fishing with a jig, so I can see that you all didn't screw up. I see. I mean, I'll probably not do a very good representation of what it should look like. So each venue has 10 named legendary fish. So I won't show you all of them because that might be a bit tedious for you all. But you can see that's Chickamauga, Lake Hamilton. And you can see the weights at the bottom there and the length. As you can see, I've caught none of them yet because I haven't put much time in. I've seen in the beta, though, we did have a selection of people who actually caught Olivia, so that was cool to see. I still don't know what Olivia looks like properly.
Might be a little while for you, Ben.
Yeah, I know, right? So let's have a look at boats and stuff.
Yeah, boats. I think boats was something that a couple of people asked for last time.
Exactly. So there are some new manufacturers, new boat companies that we're working with. Do you know which ones are new to Bassmaster?
Yeah, the Skeeter, the Falcon F20 Predator, and have we got it on there? Yeah, the Basscat Jaguar are new ones. Also the Yamaha outboard motor that we've got on the boats.
Yes.
They're brand new as well, because I think before we only had the one brand.
And we've even done
engine.
The boat wraps that match the real life anglers' actual boat wraps, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think my favourite one is the Scott Martin one on the Skeeter boat. So you can see some of the real life sponsors and stuff on there, and yeah, just like it is in real life.
Exactly, and it doesn't look miles away from. Well, it does, but it looks similar to our Bassmaster Deluxe Edition wrap.
Actually, no, I take that. My favourite wrap is the Bass Nation one. I think you just flicked it past it. Actually, I remember it's the yellowy green one. That one.
Yeah,
is,
this is mine as well. Actually, it's awesome. Yeah, we've done a great job designing really cool looking wraps. I'm really chuffed with them. Unfortunately, I don't have access to very many right now because I haven't put much time into the game. So I'm going to have to stick with the Basscat Pantera Classic. And I literally only have the default wrap. So you'll have to earn some bass bucks to be able to buy cool new wraps. So it's only a 55 mile an hour boat. You can carry 15 rods. It does have a cool wrap, but it's 10,000 bass bucks, and I've only got 4,323. One of the questions was, will the game be in Italian? It will be. I'm pretty sure. Right?
I don't have the localization list on.
I'm pretty sure I typed it out. We have an FAQ that will be out and available for everyone to look at tomorrow, which has a full list of all the languages being translated into. So,
sorry, yeah, I just see a question there just from Matt about the multiplayer and if there is a mode where you can play with friends other than Royale. So in the multiplayer there are 2 modes at launch. You're going to have the Royale mode, and then you're going to have the sort of the open fishing, freedom fishing, where there'll be like a selection of lakes that you can jump into and fish alongside other anglers and whatnot.
Exactly, that is correct. We don't have haptic feedback and adaptive triggers on PlayStation 5. It's something that I know that the team have spoken about, that how much they'd love to do that, but it's a very new technology, so it's going to take some learning, I think, and some time to do that, hopefully at some point, but I wouldn't want to say that we were or wouldn't at this stage. You can't make private lobbies, Stu, no. So if you want to fish with your friends, thankfully you can fish with more friends than ever now with cross-platform and large multiplayer lobbies. So you'll all be able to meet up on a lake together and fish if you're on the same server. But as it stands, there won't be any custom.
There'll be public waters.
Yeah, the public domain. People will know what you're up to. So we want to go look at Sabine because I know we're fishing that. So this is what the screen looks like when you're about to jump into a lake, a venue. So you get some tips. It tells you like what your best catch has been so far. Kind of gives you information about the species and what kind of equipment might be good to catch the fish that you're looking for on each lake, which is cool. And then it gives you a breakdown of all the legendary fish that are there as well. You can see everything. What's my favorite fish? Largemouth bass.
Anyone that you can catch, mate, isn't it?
Well, yeah, for me, it's anything that I can catch. So we'll jump in here bright and early, and let's just have a cruise around and see what it's looking like. Right, so this is the starting dock, and just like our other venues, you'll always start at the point in which they would start in real life professional angling events. So let's cruise around. We'll just have a little drive around and see what we find.
Yeah, I think Sabine River is one of my favourite venues, I think, in the game, just because of the variety it offers. I don't know about you, Ben, but it's definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about maybe turning the boat volume down again a little bit more.
Is it quite loud?
It's loud for me. I don't know if it's loud for everybody else.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Is it the same for Royale? Will everyone start in one spot? That's the only situation where it's different. Tom, you can explain that while I give people a guided tour of this lake.
Yeah.
River.
So in the Royale mode, when you start, I think it's 4 different spots on the venue where players load in. So the more players that there are in the match, the more sort of scattered apart you are across these 4 different locations. So it kind of mixes it up a little bit. So it's not going to be a case of every match you can start in the same spot, go to your one spot and just fish there. You're going to have to sort of move around and stuff, because obviously the longer you spend driving your boat around, the more time you're wasting. And every minute counts in that mode. We've been playing it a lot in our closed beta, so it can come down to the wire sometimes. So yeah, you definitely want to have at least explored the venues a fair bit so that you're sort of comfortable with all of them. And like all of the locations on them when it comes to playing that mode.
Yeah, and to add, I mean, some of these venues are miles long of stretches of water that you can explore. There are very large areas of water to try and understand where you want to fish is going to be really important.
Is there a mode when you cast you can turn off the part where you can see underwater? So there are a couple of things off that. When you're casting, obviously it goes into the underwater camera. we've got a toggle button that I'm sure Ben will show you today that you can press so that you can go from underwater to the sort of third-person view that you might be used to. In the settings in-game, there is also an option there to completely turn it off. So if it's not for you, and for some people it's not, and that's fine, you can completely switch it off.
Sounds great, and Game Pass makes it better. Exactly. What a great service that is.
Yeah, and as for, there's a lot of people obviously asking about release times and stuff like that. So we've got Xbox and Windows 10 that it will be midnight UTC. PlayStation will be your local time, midnight. And then Steam will be it should be by about between 5 and 6 p.m. Tomorrow. So yeah.
You can see that actually there's a lot of activity going on my fish finder right now. There's a lot of fish on this lake. So as you can see, I've been cruising around for a while, and it's a big body of water. So should we see if we can catch some fish in the actual event?
Do it. Natural Born Fisher was saying that he was hoping to see me and you go head to head, and I'm sure that will happen.
It will in future. It will in future, yeah, for sure.
100%.
So another thing to point out, when you're done, exploring a lake or a venue, it will come up at the end of the session and tell you how long you started. It will give you a summary of your catches, how that's impacted your progression, and your following. And your following is really important because that's going to be your key to unlocking sponsorship deals and getting discounts on the gear and equipment that you're going to want to use to fish with, basically. So, career, Bassmaster College Series. Oh, well, I was going to cruise around. I cruised around Sabine River, forgetting that actually we're fishing on a different Chickamauga. So,
well, you get a bit of both. There you go.
You got a bit of both. I was wondering, there's no GPS on here, and I did mark something that I thought was quite good.
Oh dear. So you're going in. Have you actually? How much have you fished Chickamauga? Because I know that we've sort of been testing and stuff. So
I fished it once, and I found a spot where I know that some fish are. Hopefully, when I get there, so we'll have to see.
I think there's a couple spots to the right of the launch point. I think.
Yes, just around the corner. Yeah. I know where I'm going, dude.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sick music. Thank you. That's pretty cool, huh? One of the questions was, is there going to be any weekly online tournaments? So I'm thinking, Dan, you're probably referring to what was commonly known as the Dovetail Fishing League, which for those of you who don't know who are new to our world, welcome for one. So the Dovetail Fishing League is something that we've had set up on our previous games, where essentially we set up weekly tournaments that you can compete in. So let's say it's in this case it will be bass. So it will be your top 5 bass in the course of an hour, which goes against a leaderboard of other players who've taken part. And at the end of the week, you see who's on top, and you get some points and rewards. And then there's an overall winner at the end of the month, and the rewards are even bigger for that. So it's not going to be something that's in-game at launch, but it is something that we are going to be looking at adding at some point in the future.
Yeah, there's stuff that we're looking to bring to multiplayer post-launch. So we would just say is just keep an eye on the socials. Obviously, if you're in the Discord, on our Facebook and stuff, we'll be announcing it all through there, and obviously on these streams. So there's more to come. Somebody was asking me what my mug is. It's just a big stein.
Oh, well, the best way to drink tea. Megalodon is not in the game. Sorry to disappoint you there. No. So another question as well, but I've lost it now. That's fine. Right. Let's give this a go. Let's see what let's see what happens.
Yeah, good luck.
Welcome to the Bassmaster College Series event. Our anglers are ready for takeoff.
Just asking if there's a freedom fishing mode. Yes. It's Bassmaster Venues is basically the equivalent where you can explore the venues at your leisure.
I'm also additionally nervous because I'm going to attempt to try and show drop shotting. So that could be embarrassing. I've probably only tried for a few minutes, so...
For people asking for the Discord link as well, just put that down in the chat so you can grab that.
Well done. So you can see here that I've been here before, and I've established that this spot here, this GPS marker I've put down, was a good spot, and I wrote bass in the morning. So I'm going to head over there because I think it might be good, and see how we do. Alt Cryo has asked, is it cross-platform?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it is. So this one isn't a long drive, so...
When does this game come out on Game Pass? Day 1. So as soon as it's available in your region and on your platform, which will be Xbox, and then you'll be able to pick it up on Game Pass. That's the standard edition as well.
All right, so here are all the rods I've got set up. So the top 3 are the default ones that you'll have when you start the game. And when you earn some bass bucks, you'll be able to start creating your own and spending money. So this is the drop shot rig that I've set up. I don't have the best line on there yet because I didn't have enough money to buy a really good one. So it's rod 4. So let's give this a go. So if I hold down F here for me, you can reassign these if you want to. I can adjust the line length, which will affect how deep in the water the float is, essentially. So let's see what happens here. I'm just going to go with a short range cast here because I don't want it to go very far.
Testing your skills now.
Terrifying. So as you can see, there's the underwater view. On the Steam, V will toggle that so you can come back to your angle of view if you want to. You can see that underwater view. So I think maybe I didn't do my line length quite long enough because it's not quite as low in the water as maybe I would like it to be. Yeah, you can see it's like almost at the surface. So I'm just going to go again and give it a little bit more. Let's try like 2.3. See how that goes. Stu, you're witnessing me attempt drop shotting. Oh, so
a couple of people asking about lures, soft like plastic worms and stuff like that. I've got a list here, so to just sort of rattle off what kind of lures that you're going to get in the game. But we've got diving crankbaits, lipless ones, spinners and buzz baits, spoons, swim baits, top water baits, soft plastics, drop shots, jig heads, Carolina and Texas rigs, and Ned rigs as well. So there's quite a bit in there. Oh,
I caught a fish, mate. I caught a fish.
Oh, a slight delay on my
flop,
side.
what do you got?
Flippity flap, what have you got? Thank you, Dave Mercer.
Not bad at all. One in the live well.
Yeah, so I'm still learning. You know, you might think that we have a lot of time to hang out and play the game, but we don't. We haven't spent long playing these games. You have to overhead cast the lines in the water. What, even for drop shotting? I can do. We need...
yeah, I was just going to say on the bids will they will come. Is there a first-person view when you're fishing? I know that there's not a first-person view in the boat. I don't think there's a first-person view for the fishing, actually.
No, there's not. There's not. So that's backwards. You should shorten that number if you want your lure close to the bottom. Okay, so like 1.7. Give that a go. Oh, I've also turned off my fish finder. There we go. I like that audio sound. It's like a little drop in the water. Where am I now? I'm 16th. Okay, this isn't too bad. Ooh.
Not too bad. Who's in first place? Britt Stewart.
Britt Stewart. Okay. Got one. Well, I've got one on.
Annihilating you at the moment.
I know, he really is. Ooh. This one could be good, though. Yeah, Britt Stewart's really gone big.
Big time. Someone's asking how the trolling motor works. So when you switch out from the driving position to your fishing position, the trolling motor goes down automatically. And depends on what platform you're playing on, obviously with buttons, but if you're on PC, you're
not going to set any records with that
arrow
one.
keys where you can
What is
adjust the
this,
speed
solid
and the
keeper?
direction that you're going in.
Cha-chunk, cha-ching.
I used it quite a bit now. I didn't use it nearly as much as I used to. Obviously, in this case, Ben's found a hotspot that he's enjoying. So
yeah, I can give you an example though. So on PC, it's Shift to bring up your trolling motor controls. As you can see, it's flashing there. And if I hit on the up keys, it will start moving me around, and then I can navigate with my left and right. Now I'm cruising around.
And Jalen was asking, sorry if I butchered your name there, about snagging and breaking your line and losing the lure. So yeah, so this is like there's like a whole gameplay loop here that's built in with snagging and the sponsorship system. So basically, there are different setups and different rigs and whatnot that you can use that will snag less than others. And when you're playing the game, you can choose up to 5 sponsors that you can sort of switch out to assign to your angler. And as you fish, you gain a following and you increase your reputation with that sponsor, which gives you benefits like discounts for lures, boats, and stuff like that. Now, specifically with the lures side of thing, if you snag and snap the line and you're not able to unsnag, then you will lose that lure. But that's why it's so important for you to have those sponsors on board so that it doesn't cost you loads of bass bucks to keep loading up on lures. It incentivizes you to improve your relationship with them, so that you can continue to get lures basically without running out of money.
Come on, got it. Good explanation though, well done. That was a very good textbook answer.
You're going to have a few competitors trembling with that toad.
Will I be doing a launch day music video? Omni, I'm not quite sure what you mean, but if you did want to see a musical performance of the music from the game, then there is such a video on YouTube. I mean, if you're hoping for an actual real-life live performance, then no. Although the community have ended me up getting my guitar out on stream once before.
Have they? I've missed that one.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't say no, unfortunately.
Someone's asking if there's going to be future DLC. There are plans for future updates and stuff to come to the game, so we'll be talking a lot more about that post-launch.
This isn't a species that I want, but I think it'd be cool to catch it just to show everyone.
Is it a long-nosed gar? I think I'm slightly behind on yours, yeah.
So I think it's the first time I've caught one of these, because you can see it's zooming in and the heartbeat's going. Wow. So yeah, in the tournaments in bass fishing, it's the top 5 weight that count.
Yeah. Large-mouth bass, smallies, so smallmouth, and then spotted bass. 5 in the live well, and it's your biggest 5. There are other types of tournaments throughout the career mode as well. There's a couple of different ones. You've got like pro challenges where you'll go up against like the pro anglers, Scott Martin and those kind of guys. Species race where you need to sort of catch one fish from each species on like a designated list of fish to catch. And you also have like total length of like all fish caught sort of thing. So there's a variety throughout the career.
Ooh, I panicked then. I thought I had a fish on because he darted for it, and I tried to do a strike, and I had no bite. Hey, Sweat Dog, we're doing very well, thank you. Thank you for joining. How many players can play on each online mode? This is a work in progress, I would say. Do we want to say the up to?
Yeah, so it's something that we've been working on, obviously, for our beta testing. It's a completely new multiplayer system with dedicated servers. So it's all about trying to balance and see what performance is like versus how many players we have in. And also, you know, we don't want to have a cap so high that it means that we're spreading players into loads of different lobbies and it's like very thin and the experience isn't great. So this will change throughout. It can be up to 60. And we're going to be closely monitoring how things go at launch.
I'm going to be brave and try the Ned. See what happens here. With our Christy Craw. Up to 60. Yeah, that's the current.
To 60, yeah.
Current guide. So I doubt we'll ever go higher than that.
Yeah, again, it's a performance thing at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things we need to be considerate of is that you have to cater for all platforms. So performance on a 8-year-old PlayStation 4 isn't going to be the same as a brand new PlayStation 5. So we have to sort of cater for the lowest case denominator, I suppose, in some ways. Ooh. I didn't see what that was. Oh, it's tiny.
Somebody's asking if there's live baits in the game. No.
No live baits. It's part of our what word would we use for that? Ethics? About not harming.
Well, obviously not even so much that, just more so in the fact that we're focusing on lures and kind of a lot of the sort of traditional fishing, I guess, that you would see in Bassmaster tournaments for now. Yeah, I think that's basically the angle.
Yeah. I thought I'd switch back to a more traditional style of fishing.
Yeah, what are you using at the moment? Oh, you're using okay.
This is a Ned rig on a with a Christie craw, but it's catching small fish at the moment, so I might change it. I do know I might try actually is I've been harping on about it. Is basic. So right now you start off with basic cast control, but we do have total cast control. So if you want a more immersive experience, then you can have more control. And I do think if you can get used to using total cast control, it does have its advantages, and you can cast further. But it takes a little bit more practice to get used to. And I, as you know, have not had much practice, but we'll give it a go. So you can see
what, you saying this was too easy for you?
Yes. My first one. I mean, oh, jeez. Okay. I mean, I just cast, how long was that? 40 something yards, compared to a standard sort of max powered, cast would be on basic. It's like 21, 22, something like that.
Just seeing a lot of questions coming through. We spoke about it a bit earlier on, but just to go back over it, there's not going to be private lobbies at launch. That's not going to be something that's there.
We had some questions around. Cooper wants to know about buzz baits, and I can't remember off the top of my head whether that's something we have or not. I'll be able to have a look so you can see for yourself if you like. I'll switch back to basic in a minute because I'm casting really, really far.
Where are you placing right now? 25th. Okay.
Yeah, but I put that down to, keeping a conversation going.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, all right, mate.
Oh dear. So let's have a look. I want to have a look at some of the baits here. We've got diving crankbaits, lipless crankbaits. Oh yeah, there we go. Spinners and buzz baits. You know when you know something is there, but you don't want to say it is because you don't know if it is for sure? Like the second someone asks you, you get like that moment of doubt. So there isn't really a way to play with friends. There is exactly a way to play with friends. So you just go to, if you want to play with friends online, you go to the fishing trip section and join a server together, and then you can all meet up on the lake and go fish. No worries.
Is there a multiplayer in-game where you both use the same system? What does that mean? As in boat? You will have your own boat if that's what you're asking.
Oh.
There is a single player mode, Ninja.
Yeah, this is the
there's a single player. yeah, you've got the Bassmaster venues where you can just sort of freedom fish, explore, learn the venues, catch all the fish, find the legendary fish, that kind of stuff. And then you've got the career mode, which is what Ben is attempting right now. And in the career mode, you start off in the college series, move up into the opens, and then if successful and you get enough qualifying points, you go into the elite series, and then you've got to fish really well in the elite series and then get basically invited to the Bassmaster Classic, of which is essentially the final. I think the idea really is that by the time you make it to the Classic, or by the time you make it to the elite anyway, you need to be pretty good, and you need to have a good loadout and sort of have a lot of waypoints sort of put down on the maps. You need to know where you're going, what you're doing, so yeah.
Isn't that a cute little fish?
God. I'm getting mocked by Dave Mercer right now. I feel like I was having better luck with the drop shot, so I might go back to it after this one.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Oh, Case is asking, right, is in split screen? No, there is not going to be a local co-op on this game.
No, I'm not interested.
Realistic size bass. Yeah, I think we've been, I don't know, obviously if any of you have seen, we've been posting obviously articles out since announced. One of them was talking a lot about the fish AI, and we've been working with freshwater like marine biologists in the States to help with sizing of fish and what species are on what venues and that kind of stuff. So we've definitely been working quite hard to try and make the size of the fish and the species list as accurate as possible to the venue.
And Sanksco, it's going to be 60 frames per second. Do you want to answer the one about what's included in Deluxe Edition, Tom?
Where's that? Oh, right down the bottom there. Yeah, cool. So yeah, Deluxe Edition, you get some unique boat wraps, boat, some rods, reels, lures, and your own set of in-game mastery challenges. Depending on what platform you're getting it on, you'll be able to see there a couple of screenshots of exactly what you're getting. So yeah, and the mastery challenges are sort of obviously, for those that know, it's like an extra way, an extra part of the game for you to unlock cosmetics and equipment. So this might be through catching certain fish, certain weights of fish, achieving certain goals in career mode, that kind of stuff.
Ooh. Sometimes I do get taken by surprise. One of the questions was, do we make the game or just play it? We don't personally make the game, but we do work with the company, or for the company that do make the game. So we both work for Dovetail Games.
So we work quite closely with the dev team as well. So especially Ben, like being community manager, he listens to a lot of what you're saying, a lot of what you're saying in the chat tonight, and this kind of stuff. And we talk directly with the dev team about what the community's saying, what the community would like, that kind of stuff, and we try to fit in. So.
You're going to have a few competitors trembling with that toe.
Well, there'd be boat jousting in the game.
I mean, content creators are going to create, right? If you want to joust boats, then joust boats. No, quick catch is still a feature, but it works as intended now, as you can see. I don't think I've missed a few, but I've not lost a fish because of one. That's a good one, right? £5, 7 ounces. You can also expand on here as well, so if you want to know how many bass bucks that catch has got you, or how much your following has grown for posting that wicked catch on your social media, or if you just want to know about the history of the largemouth bass and the species, then you can hit Q again and get some information. But I should be focusing on trying to get up the rankings here. I'm now 18th.
Big Time is asking if you can see how many players are in a queue for online modes. Ben, do you know the answer to that one?
I know it's one of the higher priority things that we want to look at. So I think at the moment there isn't, but obviously we'll communicate with everyone as and when we get any progress or news on that. But we do think it's important. You're talking about for the Bass Royale queues, right? No, I'm saying the opposite to that, Spotlight. So the quick catch feature is still in the game, but it's a bit different to how it was in the betas. Come on, I need to get a couple more. How long? I got 10 minutes. All right.
Yeah, you got to really put it out the bag.
Yeah, it only takes one big fish, Tom.
You wanna? Are you gonna stick in this spot? You're confident with this spot?
I think so. I mean, I could risk it, but
How many bass have you caught?
Not gonna set any records with that one.
I'm just getting.
But at least it's a good, solid keeper.
Getting torn to pieces by Dave Mercer. What have I got so far? I think I definitely got 5. So I really need to, but I've got like a 1 pound 15 ounce. I need to catch some. I need to catch some bigger fish.
Kevin is asking if there's any tips or guides in the game to refer to. Can you show us the retrieve? So I can definitely answer that first part. Tips or guides. So there is a in-game tutorial now. So for players that are new to the game, don't really know too much about what they're doing, they can play that tutorial and it'll show them the basics about getting out on the boat, how to fish, choosing your rods, that kind of stuff. And then outside of that, Ben has been working on some snazzy tutorial videos. Ben, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so they're like, oh my god, it's busy. It's a getting started series essentially, which will start from the very basics, like where to find fish, a breakdown of the UI.
Would you look at that cute little baby bass?
You look at that cute little baby bass. And then we'll go through to things like how to deal with snagging, details on the sponsorship system, what are the uses of the trolling motor, basic cast control versus total cast control. And I think the plan is to add a few more to the list, but I think it'd be really useful to try and get an idea for the community in terms of what people are struggling with, so that we can make some more tailored content towards that. But we've tried to preempt that by creating these videos to get people up and running, basically.
Definitely. Cooper is asking what the fastest boat is. There's not one fastest boat, but we've got the Yamaha, the 250 HP Yamaha motor, basically, and that sits on the Skeeter, and I think I know it sits on the F20 Falcon. I don't know if it sits on any other boat. I'm not sure, but that would be the quickest one in there. And then somebody else was asking, if you mark up a spot in career mode, does it appear in all other game modes? Yes. So this is the whole point of the Bassmaster venues section of the game, where you can explore, you can find hotspots, you can find what works for you, mark it up on your map, and then that way when you go into career mode, you're going to be a little bit more prepped. Same goes for Bassmaster Royale. Obviously, in that game mode, it is very important with the countdown and the timer and the elimination modes, the elimination events, for you to have hotspots so that you can go and start catching fish, so that you don't get eliminated throughout the round.
Indeed. I keep catching the wrong species, unfortunately.
If you buy this game now, can you play it? Depends on where you are and depends on what platform you're on. I think right now it's sort of, as of, I think it's about midday our time, I think, in Australia and New Zealand. It sort of launched, so it's sort of following the sun round now. Basically, by 5 p.m. tomorrow evening, 6 p.m., most platforms will have it.
You can kind of get the feeling here, as the day has gone by, this spot is changing, and I'm not really catching much bass now. So we could risk it and try and drive somewhere else and just maybe try and find somewhere new, but I'm also relatively terrified about how that's going to go for me. You know what? No risk, no reward, right?
So, Game Pass release date and time, day 1. So as soon as it's available in your region on Xbox, that's when you can pick it up on Game Pass. And Tolltown was asking about the spots and if they're ever randomized, and I assume you're talking about kind of hotspots for fish. So basically the AI system for the fish that's built in, the fish move around the water. So if you could see it in a development build, I guess, you would see there are multiple fish in the water. There are hotspots and they're moving between these different hotspots, and the things that influence that movement is like time of day, temperature, whether there's any structure, hotspots, POIs under the water, that kind of stuff. So right now, in this case, where Ben started off in that spot and there was a lot of bass and there wasn't so much now, it's because they've moved. So you definitely need to learn the venues. You definitely need to learn your equipment and learn the fish so that you can sort of follow them around the venues and make sure that you keep filling up your live well.
Have you seen the full list, Zach? There are quite a few. And obviously it's varied per lake, so we've tried to base it on what you'd actually find on a lake-by-lake basis.
There are 24 species of fish to catch, sort of ranging everything from, bass, largemouth, smallies, striped, white bass, spotted bass, tiger muskies, walleye, crappie, yellow perch. We've got flathead catfish in there, channel catfish, chain pickerel. There's loads of fish. Big old list.
Got on where it came from then.
Lake Jordan is not in the game, Cooper.
I want to try and find a nice little bit where there's some like weeds or maybe some like overgrown or logs or something like that on the water.
Omni is asking, yes, there are bluegills in the game.
Also, the sunset's looking good. Putting it out there. Oh, also, you'll have noticed that. Oh, sorry, I should probably pay attention when I'm driving. That as the day passes, obviously we have dynamic time of day in this game, so time is passing. How the venues look and how the water looks will change, but it also affects how the underwater camera will look. So the underwater changes, like the look of it will change throughout the course of the day as well. And yes, it's 60 frames per second on consoles too.
Cooper's asking, will we ever add Lake Jordan? It's not something that's on our list at the moment. We'll be talking a lot more post-launch about venues coming to the game. And Stu, don't worry, Jesse Bestie is not one of those.
Well, this is looking good here. Maybe. He says confidently. You can see you can see a lot less underwater now as the actually it might not be deep enough here. I might switch it up. Here we go.
Yeah, I think what's been kind of cool actually, I think there's been some people in the beta that who is it? Somebody owns one of the holiday homes.
Oh, really?
On Lake Hamilton. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. We were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and they could see their home in the game, which has been kind of cool. So it's been really interesting to see players that obviously have been able to fish these venues in real life. We've obviously tried to build them as accurately as possible. The dev team sort of get a lot of telemetry data, depths of the water, that kind of stuff to try and recreate it as closely as possible to the real life venues.
I thought this spot was looking good, but it's not. It looks like I'm going to come relatively bottom of the table here, but actually there's not a huge amount in it. Like, the gap between 34th and 1st is minor, really. It's just a couple of decent catches away.
Where are you at now? 34th. Oof.
I know, yeah. It's this is what happens.
Wait, where did you come last time? I can't remember. Did you come first last time? You came first. Oh.
I know. I caught literally no bass the entire game, and then in the last couple of minutes, I bought like a 9-pounder, and it took me straight to first. Not today.
Not today.
Ooh. What was that? Oh, it's not a bass, is it? Not the fish I was looking for.
Not what you want. Better luck next time, mate.
Better luck next time. I know, we've got 1 minute to go. It's not looking good. One
what
thing.
What are you using now? I can't. There's a slight delay. What have you got on your rod?
It's the. Okay. So it's the Nedrig 1/4 ounce with the Christie Craw Natural.
Nice.
But it's not really working out for me right now. But it's probably just because I, haven't had time to study the lakes. I need more time to explore and work out where
your hotspots
are, and like put all my waypoints down. Because at the moment, I'm sort of flying blind a little bit, so I need to get some practice in. Ooh. You definitely have to pay attention. Like, if you're not watching and listening, it'd be easy to lose a bite. There's not like this big audible warning that you've got a bite on your hook, so you need to be really paying attention. Oh,
Time for the scales to do the talking. Let's get your limit on there and see where it puts you on our leaderboard.
well,
There we go.
it probably could have been okay. I got a couple of pretty good ones, and then my bottom 3 weight were pretty low. So it hasn't worked out so well for me. But hey, there you go.
You tried, mate. You tried.
I tried my best.
Tough day today.
You can't win them all.
Unfortunately, just like the pop caps say, you're going to have to try again.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try again, just like Dave Mercer says. So you can see here, it gives me a little summary at the end, 34th place. You can see what it's done to my reputation and my total weight, all that kind of jazz. And then when you go back in here, you'll see that because I didn't do terribly, it has unlocked the path to go down the opens. But there's still plenty to do here. So I obviously need to do that again at some point and get number 1 because I want to win. But the next event here is the St. Lawrence River Pro Challenge. So this is slightly different. So the winner is the first to catch one of each of the qualifying species. So make sure you check the rules and prepare your tackle accordingly. Every second counts. So you can see it's a slightly different approach. It's not always purely focused on catching bass all the time, which is kind of cool, I think, because I think one of the big questions we've had has been, is it just bass? And the answer is, no, it's not.
Nope.
How long is each tournament? They are, well, to be fair, I've only played the first few, but so far they've been half an hour. And I think they've tried to condense the equivalent of like an 8-hour day into a half an hour stint, essentially. Otherwise, an 8-hour session, as much as it would be cool to do true to life experiences.
Might be there for a while.
That's a long that's a long time to game, all right, well, look, I think it's probably a decent place to call it, unless there's anything anyone else wants to ask or look at that I can show you quickly. We'll wrap up and we'll start seeing you all on the lake over the next 24 hours.
Cannot believe the game is coming out tomorrow. Very excited to see everybody out on the lake. I know that me and Ben are going to be playing Royale quite a bit, so we'll definitely be seeing you on the leaderboards.
Yeah, I hope so. It's going to be a busy couple of days. We're going to be available as much as we can to help people and respond to everybody. But look, thanks everybody for hanging out. If you haven't already, I guess you can still pre-order the game before it comes out. If you do pre-order the game, if you're interested, you'd get a 10% discount. Whereas if you bought the game post its release, then you'd have to pay the full price. And it's available day 1 on Xbox Games Pass. So look, we hope to see as many of you as possible on the lake. Thanks again for joining me, Tom. It's been a lot of fun. We didn't go quite as well as I wanted it to, but
it's been a pleasure. I'll definitely be back on soon when we can go 1-to-1, and I can put you to shame.
Yes, awesome. All right, look, thanks very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure, and
thanks,
we'll
guys.
Chat to you in a bit. Okay, see you later.
Take
everyone.
care. See you later. Bye bye.